the mystery of powerful forces driving Earth's mountains to soar to great heights. This is being probed in a new study. Scientists have long been engaged in a debate as to what factors impact the growth of mountains. Well, we know, for example, how Mount St. Helens erupted and was growing, and there are various things happening there, and the geologists are showing us how that mountain is growing. It's from the magma that's pushing the material from underneath. But now these scientists are in debate on what factors impact the growth of mountains. We know that they're usually in areas that have magma underneath, or subduction zone, and the continents and the tectonic edges push into each other, causing the land to rise. Now, the process is quite fascinating for science, albeit lengthy, and of course, this process takes billions of years to create the mountain ranges. New study claims to have revealed the main driving force behind the growth of mountains, which regulates how big they become. And according to the research published on Nature just recently, June 11, megathrust shear force control mountain height at convergent plate margins. The tectonic forces underneath mountains determine to what dimensions they do grow. So for mountains located near tectonic plate collision zones, maximum mountain height is chiefly decided by an equilibrium of forces within the Earth's crust and not by any weathering or erosion on the top. So, for example, this is an area of the Himalaya Mountains, also of the Smoky Mountains. We have these images here. We have the Rocky Mountains on the west coast. Now, those are, of course, all these areas are subduction, tectonic subduction. Now, the team of German scientists led by Armin Dielforder of the Helmholtz Center Potsdam, GFC, German Research Center for Geoscience, Ralph Hetzel of the Institute of Geology and Paleontology at University of Munster, and Onno Onken, Helmholtz Center Potsdam and GFC, German Research Center for Geosciences, analyzed the strength of specific plate boundaries and modeling the forces that would be acting on tectonic plates. They used heat flow measurements near the surface as a proxy for the frictional energy that comes into play during the process. So, heat flow measurements. The scientists subsequently compared these models with actual mountain range heights in the Himalayas, the Andes, Sumatra, and Japan. The team concluded that in mountains that are still actively growing, the height and weight remain in balance with the underground forces below, with friction and stress underneath impacting the mountain's height. Erosional processes can modulate mountain topography and trigger active faulting, as suggested by conceptual and numerical models for climate tectonic interaction. Tectonic plates typically move and shift. As one is forced down, plunging into the Earth's mantle, the plate folds, forming mountain ranges on the surface above that location. But the debate among scientists revolved around whether this is the main driving force behind mountain height, as some contend that climate-related erosion plays a greater role in the process. A third factor to consider is isostasy, which is a process which keeps mountains floating on top of the hot and soft mantle. Most researchers agree that this is less significant to the entire process of mountain growth. Weighing into the debate, the study team says, our findings suggest that erosion is not capable of outpacing the tectonic and isostatic processes that keep convergent margins close to the force equilibrium because the upper plate is effectively weak. It remains to be seen whether the findings made in new study apply to mountains that are not close to subduction zones where one tectonic plate is sliding under another, said the scientists. They acknowledge that in those instances, mountains' height might be limited by climatic conditions such as the position of the snow line, with further research potentially able to offer more answers, providing an understanding of how mountain range height is controlled around the world. Also, the new research will offer food for thought for geologists, suggesting a new approach to the issue of forces underneath the crust that affect the mountain ranges. This is on Sputnik News. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.